What if I told you that some of the most heart-shaking, goosebump-raising moments in Adventure Time didn't come from the romance, or the jokes, or the weird mushroom people, but from the fights? Because when Adventure Time throws hands, it also throws feelings. And these fights, they're not just fist flying and sword clashing, they're about pain, growth, trauma, and sometimes love. Let's dive into the most intense, emotional, and unforgettable fights in Adventure Time, and why they meant way more than just combat. Side note, I won't be covering the best fight of all, which is the series finale fight against GOLB, because that is just way too much. That's too epic, and that'll probably be its own separate video. Alright, that line shattered everything, because the fight wasn't just about swords, it was about identity, belonging, and the deep emotional crack that started the moment Fern was born. Let's take it from the top. Whispers, Season 9, Episode 12. Before fists even fly, the pain's already brewing. The Lich's hand is whispering to Fern, not literally, psychically, if that's a word. And it's like it sees into Fern's deepest fear, that he's not real, that he's just a broken version of Finn. He becomes obsessed with proving himself. He wants to be better than Finn, because maybe then, he'll finally feel whole. And then in Whispers, Finn, Fern, and Sweet Pea go on a mission that should have been normal, but it doesn't feel normal. Fern is tense, off. Everything he says feels like he's trying too hard to sound like Finn. And when Sweet Pea tells Fern that he seems fake, ooh, that's it. The mask slips. By the time we get to 3 buckets, the real heartbreak begins. We open on Finn walking into his own treehouse, but it's wrong. Everything looks the same, but it's just off. Like a dream version of his life. And then, boom, Fern ambushes him. The atmosphere is tense. It's not an epic battlefield, it's home. That's what makes it more painful. This is a fight in the most familiar place, and it's between 2 people who are supposed to be the same person. The moment Fern lunges at Finn, sword drawn, you can feel the confusion in Finn's body language. He doesn't want to fight. He's trying to understand. But Fern isn't having it. You think you're better than me? I'm not trying to be better than you, man. Then why are you? That right there. That line is Fern's whole pain boiled down. Because he's not evil, he's just lost. Now the swordplay starts, and it's tight, fast, close quarters. They're flipping through everything, the grass, hitting each other. Every clang of the sword sounds like an argument. Finn's on the defensive, parrying, dodging, pleading. Fern's attacking with desperation. Like if he hits hard enough, the confusion in his head will go away. The animation gets sharper. The colors more saturated, the light more shadowed. Even the way Fern moves, jerky, like he's fighting himself as much as Finn, tells us he's unraveling. At this point, Finn gets the upper hand. He pins Fern, sword to his chest. He could end it, but he doesn't. He tries talking. He says, "You're not like me," but not like you suck. More like you deserve to be yourself. But to Fern, that line confirms every fear he's ever had. He screams, pushes Finn off, and this time, he doesn't fight with honor. He fights to kill. There's this brutal moment where Finn looks scared, not for his life, but for Fern. You can see it in his face. I'm losing him. But in the end, Finn has to put an end to Fern. Fern goes on top of Finn, trying to end him, but Finn puts his razor hand inside Fern, and he is destroyed. Finn looks shocked, speechless, sad. He carries his remains and puts it in the bucket, a literal bucket. Not out of cruelty, out of confusion, out of not knowing what else to do. But for Fern, waking up later in that bucket, it's shame, humiliation, isolation. That scene sets the tone for everything Fern becomes later. The Green Knight, the puppet of Uncle Gumbald, the corrupted echo of a boy who just wanted to belong. That fight wasn't about who was stronger. It was about who got to be real. Marceline versus the Vampire King.
Make a mistake.
Clip. When Marceline draws her axe base against the Vampire King, it isn't just a clash of fangs and fury. It's a confrontation with her own darkness, her past mistakes, and the possibility of a new future. Let's unpack every gut punch moment, every chord, every shadow in this unforgettable duel. Stakes, Season 7, Episode 6-8. We've seen Marceline in lighter moods, jam sessions, pranks on PB, silly ghost hunting. Then comes stakes, and we learn she once hunted vampires. That backstory sets up the way she carries. She's been running from these monsters and from herself for centuries. Improvise. The Vampire King rises from the ashes of the defeated Empress ruler, towering, calm, terrifying. He doesn't roar, he whispers, "I never wanted to fight again." And that flickers a doubt in Marceline's heart, because she's the one who ended his reign and stole his power. When they finally throw down, it's not just axe bats versus vampire staff, it's an emotional jam battle. Marceline slams a heavy rift. The king counters with supernatural force, sending shockwaves through the arena. Marceline strikes a power chord, and the ground shakes. You see the king's surprise, her strength, born not of pure vampire but of human emotion. This is no longer a duel to the death. It becomes a moment of choice. The king lowers his weapon, tears streaming down his immortal eyes. Marceline's hand trembles on her bass, because killing him again would kill a part of herself. And she's tired of that cycle. I can't do this forever. Clip. Her voice cracks. If you're not tearing up, rewind and look at her face. Instead of the fatal blow, Marceline offers the king mercy. He relinquishes his crown, and for the first time in 1,000 years, he asks for peace. I mean, he's later transformed into a lion cat and then ends up trying to destroy everything, but ignore that. I love that this fight ends in compassion, not carnage. It's rare in cartoons and it still gives me chills. Jake versus Memow. When a tiny assassin cat sneaks into Jake's body and injects him with poison, the result is an internal showdown you never saw coming. This isn't just a fight, it's Jake's worst nightmare brought to life. Let's break down every heart pound in second, every stretch, every desperate moment that makes this one of Adventure Time's most unforgettable battles. Jake vs. Memow, Season 3, Episode 16. We open on Jake lounging with Finn. Classic chill day. Then Memow appears in a puff of whispery black smoke, straps a poison injector onto Jake's neck, and bites him. Suddenly, Jake's not just fighting an opponent on the field, he's fighting inside himself. The stakes? His life. When I first saw Jake's eyes go all white, it hit me. This is real danger, not a goofy villain from the Candy Kingdom. Jake's body is literally under siege. Jake collapses, pleading with Finn, "Find Memow," but the poison spreads. His stretchy powers begin to fail. Every time he tries to shapeshift, his limbs wobble. You feel the panic in his voice. It's in my blood. This segment builds dread. Drake isn't superpowered, he's vulnerable, and that vulnerability makes the fighting so gripping. Finn shrinks himself down, enters Jake's body. This series just gets bonkers. Inside Jake's organs become a twisted underworld of muscle and color. Memow slinks across a beating heart like it's a dance floor. Poison surges. Jake's strength fades. He starts to say goodbye, voice cracking. "Finn, I'm gonna." But then he sees Finn, fighting like crazy to save him. In that moment, Jake's heart ignites. He refuses to quit. This is the emotional core. It's not Jake's bendy limbs that save him, it's his heart and his bond with Finn. Finn reaches Memow, frees Jake from the poison injector. They burst out of Jake's body, both grasping. Jake's first words, "Next time, give me a heads up about the cataclysm." Cue Finn's exasperated laugh. This fight highlights Drake's fragility and Finn's loyalty. When push comes to shove, they will dive into hell or into a dog's bloodstream to save each other. It's a perfect snapshot of their bond. Finn&Jake versus Farmworld Lich. Jake! Imagine facing your worst enemy, plus ice powers, plus the fury of a broken universe. In Crossover Islands Part 3 Season 8, Finn&Jake accidentally unleash a Farmworld Lich, an even more terrifying version of the Lich fused with cosmic ice energy. This fight is a whirlwind of desperation, brotherhood, and the collapse of reality itself. Let's break down every pulse-pounding moment. We start in the island citadel, high hopes, cookie by cookie, until Finn&Jake inadvertently bring back the Lich. Only this time, he's merged with the comet's ice powers. He glows cyan, his eyes cackle, and the whole fortress freezes. The horror hits fast. This isn't the Lich we know. He's gone, and we feel Finn's dread deep in our ribs. The Farmworld Lich stands tall, staff raised. He doesn't cackle, he smirks. That silent confidence is 10 times more menacing. With a flick of his wrist, he turns the wall into ice, soldiers to statues. Finn&Jake are backed into a corner of the throne room. No backup, no plan. Finn charges, sword gleaming. Jake shapeshifts into a blade shield. They move in unison. Decades of brotherhood, fueled by adrenaline. But the Lich's ice blast shatters their guard. Finn's sword cracks. Jake's shield splinters. You can see their shock. "We're gonna need more than swords," Finn shouts, his voice echoing off frozen walls. Their teamwork struggles under the Lich's overwhelming power. This isn't just a battle of strength, it's a test of resilience. Jake tries to engulf the Lich in a stretchy snare. Fails. Finn leaps in, disarms him briefly, but an ice spike impales the floor beneath Finn, sending him crashing. Jake's eyes go wide. For a moment, hope dies. The fortress groans. Ice spreads like black ink through cracks. It's this moment you realize they might lose. Their bond is the only thing keeping them going. Jake shakes off despair and roars, "No way I'm losing you." He transforms into a giant lantern, throwing enough heat to melt a tunnel through the ice. Finn scrambles back to his feet, wounded but unbroken. They combine attacks. Finn's sword ignites the melted core. Jake's heat shield lets Finn slash through the Lich's icy armor. Sparks fly, frost sizzles, In that fiery, icy heart, they find their groove again. This combo always gives me chills. I cheer so loud, I wake my dog, whom I don't have, but I imagine I have. With a final synchronized strike, Finn&Jake shatter the Lich's staff. The ice energy explodes outward, melting everything in a cascade of steam. The Lich collapses, no longer a cosmic threat, but a husk of frozen malice. Finn kneels by Jake, both panting. They share a look, battered, bruised, victorious. Their fortress may be broken, but they've proven that no darkness, no matter how amplified, can defeat their unity. Princess Bubblegum versus Gumbald.
And around Gumbald's exposed nether legion.
When your own cousin raises an army against you, it's not just politics, it's family betrayal at its worst. In the two-part epic Gumbald Season 10 Episode 6 and the series finale Come Along With Me, PB and Gumbald collide in a battle that's as much about ideals and love as it is about pistols and candy-colored explosions. Let's peel back the layers of sugarcoating and dive into every moment that made this showdown so impactful. Gumbald isn't born a villain, he started as Princess Bubblegum's cousin, created in her lab. But his jealousy and thirst for power drive him mad. We see his grievances boil over when he launches the Gumbaldian revolution. PB, ever the perfectionist, has chosen between her people's safety and the familial bond that she feels towards Gumbald. This setup always feels like a Shakespearean tragedy in a candy world. PB scientists scramble to upgrade the Gumbald Guardians, giant living statues, while Gumbald marshals his sugar soldiers. The battlefield, a pastel desert at dawn. Bombs are across the sky. PB doesn't jump to charge in. She leads with science, while Gumbald rides atop a monstrous gingerbread, roaring for vengeance. His eyes burn with betrayal. As the fortress walls crumble violet, symbolizing their fractured family bond, PB gains the upper hand but pauses before delivering the final strike. She instead offers Gumbald a truce. Unprecedented mercy. Gumbald, broken, lowers his blade. The two cousins stand amid the rubble, the dawn light streaming through shattered windows. No victor's roar, just silent, and the bittersweet taste of reconciliation. This fight ends not in death, but in forgiveness, a hallmark of the deep emotional storytelling Adventure Time can pull off. So why do these fights matter? Because Adventure Time isn't just about fighting monsters, it's about fighting yourself, your trauma, your grief, your identity. Every punch, every blast, every scream, all symbolic. These characters are hurting, growing, failing, and rising again. And the best part, they don't always win. Sometimes the greatest victory is just surviving. What's your favorite fight in Adventure Time? Was it Marceline's epic showdowns, Fern's final moments, or something totally underrated? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what hit you the hardest. And if there's a moment you think I missed, you already know I'll be deep in that comment section. Also, if you love this breakdown, then you have to watch my video on all the people Finn&Jake have helped throughout the series. It connects so well because a lot of these fights, they were fighting to protect someone else, someone they loved, someone who needed help. So go check that one out, it's one of my favorite. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next timeline.